Shalom, shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. All right, as you know, and double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of the body, and shalom to the 144,000 and greater multitude, the 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Brakti Yahweh, Bahashem Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Just a quick one. There was an explosion in West London, and a lot of houses were out of 17 to 20,000 houses didn't have electricity. And mind you, this is straight after the Passover as well. The Passover ended in the UK around about 6:15 Thursday evening, the 20th of March. Okay, it was from the 13th evening, 13th of March in the evening to the 20th of March in the evening. Okay, the Passover. Now the Passover ended. I thought it was an EMP attack. Okay, because the internet wasn't working, the phones weren't working, and everything. And then lo and behold, after a few hours, the electricity did come back on. But this was a test, and if you look at it, this is how Esau, the so-called white man, does it, right? When they do anything like this, like I believe when they do the financial crash, which will probably happen some point this year, it'll more than likely be during the summer, right? And it'll probably be on a Friday or a Saturday, okay? Because they know most people aren't working, and it's a great time to create a little bit of chaos. Either they're gonna do the whole thing, or they're gonna do a couple of or they're gonna close all banks down for a second, or the cash points, they won't be working for a weekend just to test out how people are behaving, or they're going to do the whole thing. But it'll probably more than likely happen at some point this year, pursuant to the prophecies and how the watchmen of men of Great Millstone have been prophesying in the name of Yahweh, in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, and and this is a Friday morning. It's about 1:37 a.m. And so lo and behold, just straight after the Passover, there's an explosion. A massive one. There's a couple of pictures here. This is about 22 minutes old. Right, here's the date here. 1:04 a.m. It's about 1:37 right now. 21st of March. People evacuated in Hayes, Middlesex, which is West London, near Heathrow. People evacuated as electricity substation bursts into flames in London. Dozens of firefighters from London Fire Brigade have swarmed North Hyde electricity substation on Nestles Avenue, West London, after a blaze which has sent smoke billowing into the sky. Okay, now this is kind of spirit. I don't know. Let me have a look into the brand Nestles. It's on Nestles Avenue, right? The Milky Bar kid. Nestles brand. Let me see. How old is it first? How old is the Nestles brand?
According to Wikipedia, Nestlé SA is a Swiss multinational food and drink processing conglomerate corporation headquartered in Vevey, Switzerland.
Okay, it's about 159 years old. The Milky Bar kid. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. And I don't know, it just jumped to my mind. What? Okay, the explosion. Nestle, 159 years old. 1866, his company began. More than likely, Jake invented this chocolate brand. Or was it Esau? As a so-called white man does, likes to steal inventions. I mean, this is kind of a spiritual sign. The way I'm looking at it is a Nestles Avenue explosion. Straight after the Passover. Old money that the so-called white man has made. This is the time for the so-called white man to be plucked. What was planted needs to be plucked, right? This is me looking at it spiritually, okay? But anyway, People have tonight been evacuated from their homes, and thousands of others have lost power after an electricity substation caught fire. Pictures and videos online show flames roar from North Hyde electricity substation on Nestles Avenue in Hayes, West London, just off the M4. Okay, the M4 is like a what you call like a highway or a freeway, like like a like you have, yeah, like a highway or freeway. London Fire Brigade has more than 70 crew at the scene, which has been cordoned off. Actually, it's more than that. Where's other bit of news? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. They received 190 calls. It's about 11 p.m. So it's still technically into the Passover night. Well, the Passover ended last night at 6:15 here in the UK, and by about 10:30, I would say probably between 10 and 11, the explosion happened. So approximately 4 hours, just 4 hours after the incident, which after sundown, the incident, which believed to have started shortly after 11 p.m., prompted more than 190 calls to the London Fire Brigade, sparking an immediate response involving 70 firefighters. 10 fire engines were dispatched to the scene, and 20 people have been evacuated. 2020, yes, the first call to the blaze on Nestles Avenue in Hayes was received at 11:23, and crews from Hayes, Heathrow, Hillingdon South, and surrounding fire stations were mobilised to the scene. The cause of the fire is not known at this time. It's a little tester, okay? Because Hayes, the surrounding areas of Heathrow, is obviously the Heathrow is one of the largest airports in the world, and a lot of the employees in Heathrow, which is one of the largest airports in the world, right? Live in these areas like Hayes, Hillingdon South, or these are surrounding areas, towns. Okay, and obviously this will be like a snowball effect if they can't come into work. Okay, 111. If they can't come into work, right? Um, Obviously, it's going to affect the airport as well and operations there. And I don't know whether this affected Heathrow or not, but it probably hasn't affected Heathrow. But I believe this is just to be a little tester. Okay. Yeah, there's a fire there. Yeah, part of the city of London is all black. The streets were black. It's a little tester. When the lights go out, it's gonna be. This is a little tester how it's gonna be when the lights go out. And this is nothing yet because electricity came back on after about, I don't know, a couple of hours. Anyway, I believe this to be a tester, just a quick one. And I mean, this has happened before. Last time was the neighbors, the electricity was out, but my house, the electricity was still on. You know, time now 1:44 a.m. Yeah, so this is a little tester straight after the Passover, and Esau's going to be start doing his business, and Judgment's going to be going out in different parts of the world, and Esau's going to be doing his little testers. And always remember one thing: Esau, the so-called white man, the powers that be, always do their tests, whatever they're going to do, always on a Friday. Usually falls on. All right, usually falls on a Friday or a Saturday, and if they do it midweek, they do it for a quick stint just to test the waters, how people are going to behave. All right. So Matthew 10:16, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay, so you got to be vigilant. You got to be circumspect. You got to be sober and vigilant as well. All right, to knows what times we're in. I mean, as a child growing up in the UK, even into my 20s, right, which was the 90s, never experienced this, right? Obviously, we've been experiencing the last couple of years, where the electricity would go out, but my house would be okay, uh, you know, and then I mean, there's certain other miracles that have happened as well, but I'm not going to really talk about it because that's kind of personal. Spirit's not on me to say it, But put it this way, man: the Lord Yahweh Hashem is very powerful. All right, those that believe in Him. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And we're coming to the point where, I mean, like as mentioned, it's on Nestle's Avenue. Nestle, if you look, Nestle, it's 159 years old. You got to look at spiritually as well. All right, a company owned by an old school Edomite. This is like 1866. The company was founded. You know, that's when Jake was, and Jake was living in Django times. You've seen the movie Django, you know. Jake was in the thick of it at that time. We're going to be in the thick of it again. But the elect, because as the scriptures say, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashai delivereth them out of all of them. Paraphrasing scripture there. But anyway, I'm just going to go here. I'm trying to make this quick. Everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck that which is planted. And now Esau's kingdom is going to be plucked up. These little skirmishes, these little testers, these little electricity outages, explosions, and are happening to build up the faith and the how you say it, the mindset of the hopeful elect. Because when things really get serious and the lights go out permanently, yeah, you're going to be like scrambling in the dark, man, trying to make head nor tail of the situation. Where the hell, who's in front of you? Okay, who's in front of you? It's going to get real serious out here. Okay, a time to kill and a time to heal and a time to break down and a time to build up. All right, and the elect, are being built up now as well, and now it's going to be, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. All right, time to delete the unrighteous, the 2/3, time to heal the elect, a time to break down Esau's kingdom, and a time to build up our kingdom, man. Spiritually, Yahweh Shemashah is going to do that. But the main one, the emphasis is on, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And now it's a time to pluck up Esau's kingdom, man. Revelation 12:12. Let's go there. Let's go there. It's one more scripture. There's nothing serious as yet, but it's just quite spiritual. The fact that it's on Nestle's Avenue, Nestle's Avenue, is it Nestle's Road or Nestle's Avenue, one or the other, right? Which is an old school Edomite brand. Okay, the electricity substation is there, right? And there's many substations, but they chose that, and that one exploded because that is right near Heathrow. And only 17,000 houses were affected. When the lights go out permanently, all right, it's going to be a serious snowball effect. Obviously, how things will crash around, especially here in the UK, because the UK is a very, very small island. Okay, as mentioned before, I mentioned in other videos, you can fit the UK into Texas 5 times, right? And who knows where other people's electricity has come down or not? I mean, has come back on or not? People that live near the substation, I don't know. But Brakti Habashim Hashai, we good. I'm good. All praise to Habashim Hashai. So this may have a detriment which is a good thing from the hopeful elect's perspective, with Heathrow Airport. But we'll see. Revelation 12 verse 12, King James Version. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah, this year is going to be a significant year, man. They're going to get down this summer. Yesterday was a nice evening as well, a nice sunny evening, towards the end of the Passover. Felt very spiritual as well. There was a feeling of, not being overconfident. I'm just saying there's a feeling of all praise to Yahweh first of all. There's a feeling of feeling light, spiritually. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. But anyway, I've said a lot. Just trying to get the video done quickly because so testing the waters. And this thing is going to get serious. And just wait till it hits every country around the world on a worldwide scale, man. And the internet was down for a short while, no electricity, and I thought it was an EMP attack. I said, oh shit, here we go. I thought, yeah. Because obviously we got to go through the straight gate, And I said, okay, cool. I said, because at the end of the day, we got to go through it, man. I can't be living in limbo sooner rather than later. But the Lord's going to get down very soon, man. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakakadash. Esau's testing the waters. All right, time is short. Okay, the devil knows he's got a short time. And we're seeing a lot of signs, man. I'm seeing a lot of Black Hawk? Those twin propeller helicopters in the middle of the night. You can hear, if you watch that show, if you're in the 80s, called not Street Hawk, Airwolf. It's like them thick ass propellers just in the sky. You can hear the vibration on your roof. It's just very change. It's going to be great changes are coming, man. But we got to, the hopeful elect have got to go through the straight gate. And I'm going to leave it there. We waffled on there a bit, but Salakia for that. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakakadash. Esau's testing the waters, and the explosion happened on Nestle's. What the hell's the road called again? Nestle's Avenue, I believe it's called. What was it again? Nestle's. Yeah, Nestle's Avenue. And by the way, there's a huge Nestle brand factory there as well. Okay, might even affect the situation there as well. Might affect production in the UK. I don't know. Might be a snowball effect with Nestle as a whole. But it's just a sign that the old world of Esau, their pomp, is being brought down. Because this is when Esau was in his prime, wasn't he? Like mid 1800s, early 1900s, 1950, and all that. And they had it good, We're coming to the end, man. Where it's a sign where, to me, spiritually, it just popped in my head. Oh, it's on Nestle's Avenue. There's a huge factory up there. And Nestle's an old brand with that old Edomite money, man. So Esau going to be brought down, so-called white man. The Lord's going to pluck up that was planted, And also Esau's testing the waters as well. See how people behave, However long the electricity outage was. Right. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakakadash.